Hi there, thanks for joining me today. I'm here. I'm still here. If you're new here and are wondering what I'm talking about, I've been away for a little while. Mostly my health has not allowed me to sit at my desk, which is extremely frustrating and discouraging because, of course, if you're like me, art is part of your therapy. So it was just extremely frustrating. And today I'm feeling good. So welcome. And if you are new here, welcome. I'm Catherine. I make journals out of old books. So for example, this old beauty didn't look like this previously. I have enhanced her. I'm affectionately calling her Ada Jane. And she's not precious. She's a very common old book that was falling apart, and her next port of call probably would have been the recycle center. So instead, she's going to get a whole new life as a journal, a nice, sweet little journal. So, yeah, so much catching up to do. I have put this genuine carte de visite on the cover. And then on the spine, I have put a sweet little sort of cameo petty point right there over where the title was, because the title was Nathan the Wise, and her name's Ada Jane. So I just thought Ada would prefer a little rose petty point cameo kind of decoration. And then on the back, I borrowed a little enhancement that I learned from Anna at Made by Grenath. She loves to put a little collage down here on the back covers of her journals, and I just think that's the sweetest thing ever. So this idea is all credit goes to Anna. So I actually tried recording a video yesterday, and together, I thought we were together, I created this opening page, and I just think that's so lovely. The original front page, which I often use for the presentation page in a journal, just wasn't very pretty. And so I do like to save the year of publication whenever I can, so that the new owner knows how old this book is. Now I put it on a plate, like I matted it, I guess, in a way. It's sort of like a little mat. But I did it in such a way so that, let me find something small that I can use. Oh, come on. Maybe this will work. So it's also like a little pocket. Not that, I don't know whether you'd use it or not, but I glued it in by just putting the glue in a U shape so that something could get tucked in there, even if you wanted to put some flowers in there that are removable. And then there's journaling on here, so that perhaps the new owner wants to put their name and the dates that they began and finished the journal. Who knows? And I have mostly just plain pages in here, a few unusual ones. This is really old paper from a book that I believe someone explained to me that it's a collection of accounts, and then you can find what page they know where to look for that person for the last name, because the book itself looks like a phone book, an old-fashioned phone book. So I put the letter A in, A for Ada. So, and then there's a little bit of Beatrix Potter in here, and of course you'll recognize some of Wishes and Weeds avocado lace paper. That's just, she's the queen of tea-dyed and avocado-dyed lace paper. I even made a little foldable tag out of some. I don't like to waste any of that beautiful paper. I made, oh here, we also did this together yesterday. This was a needle booklet. So I took these off. These were inside. And then I put some antique paper inside. So you can just barely see, there's some very faint lines, and there's also very faint lines going this way. And it's going to get sewn in like a folio so that it can be journaled in here. But it looks like that. I just, I love that. And it was falling apart. So this was, by gluing paper inside was just such a good way to save those handles because they were wanting to fall off. And, oh, some more of Nancy's paper there. So you can see she's fairly naked right now. And I don't necessarily want this journal to be naked. And I do think I have more room. When I give a pinch like that, I still have room for more pages. And I think I know what pages I want to put in. So I am going to go grab them and I will be right back. Okay, I found, oh, I banged the phone. I found some more pages that I want to work with. Let's move this. I had laid it down to take photos. And let's find my template for how big to make the pages. These are going to be, this is going to be the end papers eventually when we get to that point. All right, I've got to find my template. I will pause again. Found it. So let's see. Yeah, that needs to be trimmed. This is from a guest book. I don't think I've used a guest book folio yet. In here. Right there. Nope. 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 And 5. There's 5, 6. Nope. Okay, good. All right, let's get to work on this. I have a few things that we will use. So, the first thing will be to trim this side. So I hope you're all doing well. I'm doing better for now. I don't know if you're interested in health things. I hate being that old lady who complains about the rheumatism or whatever it is that Granny's recipe helps cure from the Beverly Hillbillies. Could use a little Granny's recipe. So, long story short, I have 2 different challenges that I deal with that affect each other. I have a neuromuscular disorder called cervical dystonia. My brain is telling my muscles to do things that it shouldn't do. It's in the same family as Parkinson's, multiple sclerosis, but as painful as it is, it's not deadly the way Parkinson's and muscular sclerosis can be. And then I also have a disease called primary biliary cholangitis, which basically means it's an autoimmune disease, and it means my body, to put it simply, my body suddenly decided it didn't like my liver anymore, and it decided that it's time to attack my liver. And my challenge is that my the medication that helps control the dystonia, because the dystonia causes tremors, which is like shaking. So for me, because it's cervical, which means my spine, it was mostly causing my head to bob. And you'd think, oh, well, that can't be too bad. After a few hours of it, it's excruciatingly painful. There's just only so long you can tolerate your head bobbing in like a yes, yes motion. And it does progress. So I'm going to fold this off center. Rather than put the fold in the middle of the paper, I am going to fold it off center. There we go. So for me, that just becomes excruciatingly painful. I get pain down my spine from the base of my skull to below my shoulder blades. Excruciatingly painful after a day of my head shaking. And it can progress. And so for the past several years, I've been on medication to help control it. And it's done quite well. But then when I developed PBC, the medication, I'm just going to squeeze these to see which ones can take a thick folio. That's one of my professional hints. Squeeze your folios to see which ones could take a little bit more. I'm going to put it underneath one of Nancy's. The medications that were controlling the tremors from the dystonia are actually hard on the liver. So the plan of attack was to get me off those medications and do Botox injections into my spine. But they do that slowly. There, that's nice. They do that slowly. So for a year, I've been on the medications and I've been getting Botox injections at the same time. Okay, this is 1940s wallpaper. Again, gifted to me by the lovely Nancy over at Wishes and Weeds. And I think it's very pretty. So then the next step was to taper me off of the medication, and hopefully the Botox is doing what they want it to do. And let's put this under the little Beatrix Potter because her blouse and her dress are pink. Unfortunately, in the weaning, I think, now I haven't seen my neurologist yet, I've only talked. Yeah, I like that. Is the being on pills and Botox at the same time for a year actually masked that the dystonia is progressing and has progressed into my hands. So when I went off the pills, not only did my head start shaking again, but from rib cage up was vibrating, causing horrible breakthrough heartburn. And the worst part for me, besides the heartburn, was my hands were literally like this. I couldn't work on a journal if I wanted to. I couldn't sign my name. So they've temporarily put me back on the medication until my hepatologist and my neurologist can figure out what's next. How do we control the tremors and still keep my liver healthy? So, so that's where we are. So that's why today I can... I was looking for the other paper and it's right here. That's why today I can sit here and work, because I am medicated and my tremors are controlled. Look at that. Nothing. I guess we'll see. So fingers crossed for me, positive vibes, whatever you care to send out to the universe on my behalf, I would greatly appreciate it. So that my doctors are inspired and they can figure this out for me. Because the thought of not working on art, for a while there, I sort of thought, well, that's it. I can't make any more journals. And so then I thought, well, I guess I could always paint, because you can, you know, there are different styles of painting, and perhaps I could do like a messy style of paint. I've always done watercolor, so, you know, I wasn't without hope for having an artistic outlet, but I would much rather be making journals if I had my choice. This is my choice. If I'm given my druthers, as my father-in-law used to say, if I had my druthers. And first time I heard that, I thought, if you had your druthers, what do you mean? And he says, well, I'd rather do this than that. Okay. So if I had my druthers, I'd rather make journals than paint. So for the time being, I'm here making journals, which is wonderful. All right, let's put you here. I'm going to put a little bit of lace into Ada. I'm not going to do lace overload like I did with Once Upon a Time. And Once Upon a Time is still available. I do think I have made the decision that for the time being, so long as the powers that be in the country south of me is still okay with tiny little companies selling things over the border, I've decided that I will continue with Etsy for the time being. And we'll see where that goes. Now I just want something pretty for the last folio. Look at that. Oh, for Pete's sake, Catherine. And I can tell you exactly what I did right here. I wanted one of these little purple butterflies. And there was a little purple butterfly there. Boy, oh boy. What a woman. Did another one here. Fortunately, I could still use that. Now that says France. I'm not interested in it to say France. Nothing against France. We border on France. I know that's hard to believe. You're thinking, hold on, you're in Canada. How can you border on France? Ah, but we do. There's an island in the middle of the St. Lawrence River called Pierre Miquelon that is a territory of France. And that means Canada borders on France. We also border on Denmark. I can't remember whether I told you this or not before I went missing for several weeks. Canada also borders on Denmark, which I was surprised. Now, this one I didn't know. I knew about Pierre Miquelon because my sister-in-law's family is from Saint-Pierre. But I did not know about Canada bordering on Denmark. And there is an island called Han Island. Hans Island or Han Island, H-A-N. And I want the top one. And Denmark owns half of Han Island, and Canada owns the other half. So in essence, that makes us bordering another European country, which apparently is why that would legally qualify us to join the European Union, which fascinates me. And apparently it's up for discussion for our country. Absolutely fascinates me. So, and we can join the European Union without it affecting our own Canadian dollar. We can still keep our Canadian dollar and not have to use euros. So, very fascinating. There we go. All right, I'm going to put this on the outside of the final cover because it's pretty. There we go, because this is a pretty journal. All right, and then I will save these because I might make pockets and things. So I have leftovers of that page, and then I also have leftovers of this. This is scrapbook paper, and it's the other side of this one. All right, so I feel a little better about that. I don't think I want to go more than that because I want to put lace on it. I want to put pockets in it. And I think that will be just perfect. You know, I think I want some very sad looking old lace. Well, not necessarily sad looking, because we like homely looking things. And this one definitely is homely looking. I love it. Isn't that pretty? So a part of me thinks that I will put some maybe I'll put it on the Nancy page since it's lacy. We'll put some lace on the Nancy page. I'm just going to cut it a little longer than I need. Glue it in place. And then I can take it over to the machine and sew it so it's secure. All right, I need a rock. Where's a rock? Rock. There. All right, and glue. Boy, we had an ice storm this past weekend. We still have some towns that are without power. oldest son is a teacher, and he phoned me this morning and said, "Can the kids and I pop over for a visit?" Well, yeah. And then I said, "Hold on, is it a PA day?" You know, once in a while the teachers have training days, so the children get a day off, but that would mean he needed to go into school. And he said, nope. He said, the Board of Ed head office is in one of the towns where the power is out, and we need the computers in order to be able to do things like take attendance and what have you. He says, so schools, all the schools in the school board are canceled. So the kids are home and I'm home. And he says, and it's great. So that was nice. I got an unexpected visit. Oh yeah, I like that. Let's put one on the last signature, and then we'll put one in the middle. Let's put one back here, and I want to put it. Now that's too white for my liking. We need to do something about that. My go-to solution for when a page is too white is antique linen, distress ink, and a big blending brush. And hold on, cap my glue before it glues itself shut. So then I simply go over it and make it ever so slightly yellowed. I don't even know whether the camera will pick it up. But it's definitely yellowed, which I like. This saves having to put it into a tea bath, wait for it to dry, press it out. That makes it thicker because you never get it quite flat again. Or at least I don't. I don't know about you, but I've never had success in getting my tea dyed and coffee dyed paper absolutely as flat as the way it was before it went into the bath. Okay, so now it's slightly yellowed, and then what I do is go around the edge and darken that up the way we always do. And then if I'm feeling like it, which way is up? That way's up. I get out one of my spill and splatter and then just ever so slightly slop and splatter. And that will make it look pretty cool. This might be the stencil I use more than any other stencil. Sometimes I just run it off the page, that big splash. Make that extra dark. So it takes a few seconds. What did that take? 1 minute? 2? But it's certainly faster than putting it in a bath, waiting for it to soak, waiting for it to dry. All right, so then that's better. Now let's put some lace on this side. How am I for time? 29. Oh, okay. This obviously was a corner of something. Well, we're still going to use it. turn it this way and put that at the bottom. All right, glue. There. I'm doing so well with not buying anything from thrift stores for junk journals. Well, first of all, I'm doing well because I haven't been working on junk journals, but also I have gone to my favorite thrift stores a couple of times, but so far since January, I've bought myself a sweater, and I've bought myself for the house, 4 sandwich plates that match our dishes. We needed more sandwich plates. My husband and I are so old, we're finding we don't use dinner plates for dinner anymore. We don't eat what we used to, and we've just been using sandwich plates for dinner. And so we go through a lot. We run the dishwasher every other day because we have so few dishes. There, that looks nice. And yes, so I'm going to put 1 in the middle in 3. So that's all I have spent in 3 months. And there once was a time I would have been at, maybe this one. I would have been at my thrift store a couple of times that month. I am that devoted a thrifter. Dropping things there. Okay, rock. Should I use this one? I do like it. Oh, but I do like this too. This one. Let's do this one, because then I can make part of it I was thinking I could make part of it a tuck spot. Let's just do the best we can. I want to glue these ends so that they don't start to unravel. That glue just glues all those, because this is crocheted, one thread coming loose can make that whole thing go before you know it, you have a long piece of thread. So this is just that's what you're feeling like doing today, is it, Fabri-Tac? I won't have it. So just paint a little on those edges. They'll dry quite quickly, and then they won't unravel. There we go. Now I think what I will do is I'm going to take this out and push it aside for now. I'm going to try to keep it out of there, but I'm going to use that up and paint it along the edge here. A little bit more. I know this looks like a mess. You got to trust me on this. There we go. And where did I put it? There it is. go. Oh, I got my hands in it, but that's okay. That's better. Better than getting the paper in it. Oh, you'll have to ignore my phone ringing. I love now when it says likely spam. Do you get that on your phone? What the ID says it's likely spam? Oh, thank you for letting me know that I don't have to answer it. Who'd have thought in this day and age that we have to deal with people constantly phoning, wanting to clean the furnace ducts in our house all the time. And as if I'd place an order from an unknown person online instead of looking up a local one in my town. I think they're hoping for senior citizens that don't know. And then they scam them. Poor little dears. My parents, it terrified them many times. Yes, okay, I like that. Just a little bit hanging out there. Let's see. Let's see how you look, Miss Ada. Yeah, that's enough. Because then there'll still be some tabs and maybe some fabric frills. I think that looks nice. All right. Well, and we made it to 36 minutes. So I will be sewing those in, but I can't bring you with me anyways when I go over to where my sewing machine is. So thanks for joining me today. And let's see how well I do with posting another video soon. I hope so. I've missed you all so much. I've missed being in my room, and I've missed talking here at my desk while I work. So thank you, and stay safe and stay healthy wherever you may be, and stay strong. Take care. Bye.